Welcome back. Today we're going to tie Scott Sanchez's double bunny. Missed last week. It's just been busy. It's been busy. But I'm going to try and make up on it, or make up for it on the back end. I'm going to try and get another video out here probably in between now and next Wednesday, and then also I have a couple of things that I've been talking about for a while that we're going to get into, something a little bit different. I think I'll be able to set some time aside here. The shop's now fully dried in, so I should be able to set some time aside here one day on the weekend and get in some new videos. So some new stuff coming out here, something to look forward to in the next couple of days. And we'll have those out soon. But like I was saying, today we're going to tie Sanchez's double bunny. It's a single hook pattern, streamer pattern. Very simple to tie, very quick tie, but man, it's effective. It catches fish in a lot of motion with the rabbit strips and everything, the dual rabbit strips. A lot of motion in the tail and a good profile as well. So we're going to go ahead and get into that. I have a Gami B10S size 2 in the vise, and then some gel spun 100 thread, and I'm just going to get a thread base down. I'm going to take this back to the point of the hook, and then I'm going to move to the halfway point on the body, just like that. And then I'm going to take and throw a dubbing loop in here, and I'm going to get a little bit of ice dub right on the body portion of this. Hopefully I can find all my tools. My bench is in absolute disarray. Drives me absolutely insane, but got too many irons in the fire at this point to dedicate a lot of time to getting it how I like it. So hopefully here soon things will calm down. Like I was saying, we're going to take some ice dub, and we're just going to dub the halfway up on this, and we're going to take that almost all the way to the front. Not real heavy on the dubbing, not real tight on the loop either. And I'm just going to get this in the loop here. Like I said, not real tight on this loop, and we'll just give that a quick turn. Get one more in there, and that'll look pretty good. That's pretty nice and picked out, which is what we're after. If you want to, you can use a chenille on this portion as well. I just had the ice dub right next to me, so that's what I decided to go with. Actually, I want to back that up a little. There we go. Leave myself a little bit of room to form the thread head on this. So there's that portion, and we have our thread right where we want it. We're going to be tying that portion, or we're going to be forming, like I said earlier, a little thread head on this, and then we're going to go into our rabbit. So to start on this one, this is going to be the underside or the belly side of the fly. I'm going to take just a regular rabbit strip. If you're going with a bigger hook, if you're going with something, say, probably even a 1 or bigger, you could probably go to the Magnum strips. On the smaller ones, I tend to stick with the 1/8 strips. I don't know, I like the profile a little bit better, and it doesn't get as bulky. Not as heavy to throw either on the smaller ones. So that's what I'm going to go with here. And you can see this is just a yellow and brown barred rabbit strip. I'm going to take this. I'm not worried about the length right now. I'm not worried about how long this is. I'll trim that up after the fact. But I want to take this, and I'm going to put this through the hide right in the center, just like so. And then take that out of the vise, spin that around, get that up on the top shank, or on the shank of the hook. Try not to put it through your thumb. And then we'll get that hook clear and bring this around. So there we go, we have that portion, and it spun on me. There we go. And you can see the fibers are going back this direction. They're going back toward the tail of the fly. So I just want to pull this tight up against that dubbed portion, or crystal, or the chenille portion, whatever you decide to use. And then I'm going to separate this hair right at the head, and I'm going to tie this off. Just a couple of clean wraps right through there. That's all secured into place. And then I'm just going to take and trim that right in front of the eye. So now we have that section set in how we want it. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take, and I don't really like how that's setting, but I think it's going to work. Yep, that'll work. I just want to clean this up, kind of tame some of that hide down a little bit, and then also it's going to start the taper on this thread head that we're going to form. So there's that section, nice and clean right there. Everything's looking good for us. Then I'm going to take some gold Flashabou, probably 3 strands, 3 to 4, 3 to 5, somewhere in that neighborhood. I'm going to get some gold Flashabou, make sure it's not too busted up, not all wavy and everything. Some of this is a little beat up. So now I'm going to take these back, run these laterally, and I'm just going to extend those back a decent ways. They're going to wind up stopping just shy of my tail, just shy of the length of the tail. You can tie them longer if you want to as well. I tend to tie them on the shorter side. Go ahead and trim those off for now. They don't have to be perfect. We're going to match all that stuff up here in a little bit. So now we've got our Flashabou running laterally. I'm just going to take and wet these ones here. That way they kind of stay together for me and not cause too much trouble. So there's that, and then we're going to go with an olive black tipped rabbit strip for the top one, and get that out close to the same length. And we can go a little bit further back there. So now I'm just going to separate this and get this hair separated. Just throw my scissors in there real quick, peel that back, and then I'm going to cut right on the hide. And then I'm just going to put a little notch into here so it kind of flattens out or reduces the bulk that you're going to have from tying that in. So now we'll just take that right at the very front, line that end up right next to the eye, get a couple of good thread wraps in there, secure that into place. And there is the thread head portion. Just get another whip finish right in front of that eye. Everything looks clean there. We'll cut that off. And the next step that we're going to take on this is we're going to take a little bit of tear mender after we settle on the length of our rabbit here. So I just want to take this back. I'm looking this over. The length that I want on this one is going to be right about at the bend on the Renzetti here. So I'm just going to grab a razor blade, which I've got one here. Hopefully it's not completely dull. So I'm going to go right at the bend on that, on the arm there. I'm just going to stretch that out, cut right through this. Same thing with this one here. I'm going to take this right to the bend, stretch it, and then cut that. If I have to make some fine adjustments here later, I will, but I kind of like the way that that lengthens out for me. that's looking pretty good. That yellow's a little bit longer. I may trim that. We'll see what it looks like once I get these two glued together. So to do that, I'm just going to take some tear mender and I'm going to put it on my bodkin. Hopefully not get too awful much here. It's been a while since I used this, so it may be a little plugged up. Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. We'll just mix this up some. Yeah, this stuff's beat up. It's beat up. I'm gonna have to get a new bottle. Looks like it's set on me a little bit. See if that'll be enough to get a little stick. Go. I got a little bit on there. I don't know if it's going to be quite enough to get them two stuck together or not, but we're going to give it a shot. Yeah, it looks like it's going to work all right. So then I'm just going to hold this together for a little bit. Let everything kind of settle in. Let the two pieces of hide glue together. It's not the best set in the world, but it's definitely going to set for me. So there we have that. We're going to bring our Flashabou back to the sides here. Everything's looking pretty clean to this point. Flashabou. The length's a little bit longer than the tail. I'm just going to trim that off slightly. Keep that just short of the tail, short of the length of the tail. Same thing on the opposite side. Oh, get over here. A lot of static. A lot of static. Trim those just short. Bring this all together. Now we're going to set our eyes in here. I'm going to take some 6mm. These are just some bloodshot eyes from MFC. I'm going to take these. Get over here. Take these two eyes, set them in. We're going to set it with some Loctite gel. Hopefully this stuff hasn't kicked on me as well. And I'm going to take this right in front of my thread section here. I'm just going to catch this right where my Flashabou and the two hide sections meet. And I'm going to set that right in there. There's one. Then I'm going to take a second. Same thing on this side. Get this other eye locked in. We're set there. Now just make sure that they're oriented properly. Give them a little pinch on the side. Don't glue your finger to the hook. And everything's set. Last thing that you can do on this, if you want to, it's entirely up to you. You can either color that thread, or you can just take a different thread here. I'll just throw some olive on this and just kind of dull that white portion down. And this is just some 8/0 olive, and I'll just throw this over top of this to kind of bring all of the colors of the fly together here. That white sticks out a little bit, so I'm just going to throw a little bit of olive on that to ease out that transition or get rid of that sore thumb on the fly. Just a couple of good thread wraps right down there, nice and even. I'm going to catch that little bit of thread that was sticking out. And there we go. So now I'm just going to whip finish this off. And we are set. So with that whip finish on there, we've got the 2 strips setting together nicely with that tear mender. Got your Flashabou running back, the eyes are on, and then if you want to take some head cement and dress up that thread for the head on that one, it'll secure it up and keep a tooth from getting in there and ripping it out too awful bad. Felt like I had a light flickering or something there. It was off a little bit, but anyhow, there is Scott Sanchez's double bunny. If you guys have questions or comments, leave them with me and I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next week.